Hello, welcome to day 443. I think what I'll do today is just talk a little bit about some of the practices that we're using right now, just in order to clarify in case anybody needs any help with any of the practices. The first practice I want to clarify is the one I introduced last week called the meditative loving all method. You'll see that practice again tomorrow. And if you want to practice it on this review day, you can do that as well. That will give you a couple more times to practice it. You can also practice it whenever you find that it's helpful. Again, this is a practice that is helpful when you find that you are not easily able to love something or someone, or at least accept that something or someone, or not even emotionally allow that something or someone. So you have strong resistance, strong judgments. And the best thing to do then is to go and take some private time whenever you can and to practice this method. So let me demonstrate this method. It's a 4-step method. The very first step is to accept your feelings about the person, thing, or situation. So I'm looking for something to come to my mind that I can practice with. All right, there's a thought that has come to my mind. And I can feel my desire that this be different. I can feel my resistance to it as it is. So what I'm going to do first is accept my resistance to it as it is, accept that I really want this to be different. So I'm spending time looking at my feelings. I'm not looking outward at the situation. I'm looking at my feelings. I'm looking at the ideas that I hold that this should be different. I'm looking at the feeling that I feel, the resistance. That's the way I would describe the feeling, the resistance to it as it is. And I'm accepting that this is how I feel. I'm accepting that these thoughts that it should be different are here. They are present. This is how I feel. These thoughts are present. All right, I feel that that's accepted. So the next step, once I've accepted my feelings about the person or the situation, the next step is to love my feelings. All right. So I'm not trying to change them. I'm not trying to make them different than they are. I'm just going to love them as they are. So I'm going back in. I'm looking at the idea that this should be different. I'm looking at that resistance. Now, without asking it to be different within me, without asking my feelings or my thoughts to be different, I'm turning my attention to loving them as they are. I'm just looking at my resistance. I'm loving that the feeling of resistance can be present. I'm loving the freedom, the spaciousness that allows the feeling of resistance to arise. I'm noticing what resistance feels like. I'm looking at it curiously. I'm just loving the sensation as it is. I recognize this is a temporary experience. And I'm just loving the experience as it is right now. I also see these thoughts that it should be different. The situation should be different. And I'm loving that these thoughts can arise. I'm loving that there is nothing that says no to these thoughts. I'm just loving their presence. All right, I feel complete, loving the feeling of resistance, loving the thoughts. So the next step in the loving all method is to accept the situation or circumstance exactly as it is. So now I'm turning my attention from my thoughts and feelings to the circumstance. I'm looking at the circumstance itself. And to the degree that I'm looking at the circumstance as it is without my interpretation, without my thoughts and feelings, taking them out of it. They've already been dealt with. So I'm just looking at the situation as it is. And I'm just accepting that it's there. That is the current situation. It is as it is. There was even this little feeling that arose in me. It's not even my problem, right? It's not even my problem. Why would I mentally involve myself in it? It just is what it is. All right, I feel like I've accepted that it's present. So now the next step is for me to feel love while holding the image or thought of that situation or circumstance in my mind. So I'm just going to feel love. I'm going to be the presence of love. Excuse me, while holding that situation in my mind. Not my feelings about it, not my thoughts about it. They've already been dealt with. Just the situation as it is. I'm going to be the presence of love and just allow that situation to be present. So with my imagination, I'm looking at it. In fact, it's kind of like a silent movie running in my mind. And I sit here allowing that silent movie to run, while what I'm really focused on is feeling love. The silent movie is running. I see the situation playing. But the majority of my attention is just focused on love here in me. Just being love. Letting the situation be as it is. Letting it run like a silent movie in the mind. While I be love. So that's a demonstration of the meditative loving all method. And again, it will show up tomorrow, day 444. But of course, on the practice days, you get to pick an exercise from the previous week to practice again. So you could practice this again. And even if it's never assigned again, it's a great practice to put in your tool belt for when you need it, when there's something you cannot love or cannot accept or cannot even emotionally allow. Take the time to practice this. The second practice that I just want to talk a little bit about is the awareness, watching awareness. We're beginning our third week of practicing awareness, watching awareness. And I just want to help people have a little bit of clarity on that particular meditation method if you don't have that clarity now. One of the things I have done, I believe, let me share my screen. I believe I pulled up some instructions. I think this was an audio that I could play that reads the instructions for you, but instead I think I'll just go through them myself instead of playing the audio. These are instructions for practicing awareness, watching awareness. And you'll notice it says, for the purpose of this practice, the following definition for the words awareness and thought must be used. Thought are the words of your native language in your mind. So we hear over and over in these practice instructions to turn our attention away from thought. This means turn our attention away from that verbal native language that's happening in our mind, that self-talk that goes on all the time. So if I'm practicing awareness, watching awareness, and I start seeing ideas, chatter about what I'm going to do when I finish meditating, I want to turn my attention away from that. That's turning my attention away from thought. If we look down here at number 22, what I'm turning my attention towards is awareness. So here's how awareness is defined. When you wake up in the morning, awareness is that consciousness that woke up in the morning. Thoughts come and go, but the background of awareness remains continuous during all of the waking hours until you go to sleep at night. So when I wake up in the morning, my consciousness wakes up. And that conscious stays there until I go to sleep again, right? That consciousness stays there until I go to sleep again. So what I'm looking for is that consciousness. It's the spaciousness that the thought appears in. So number 23 again, thoughts come and thoughts go, but the background of awareness remains continuous during all of the waking hours until you go to sleep at night or your afternoon nap, maybe. Number 24, awareness is you. Your awareness, just your awareness that is looking through your eyes right now. I love those first three words in sentence 24. Awareness is you. So if you pay attention to thought, you'll notice that a thought is like an object. I can actually look at a thought with my attention. In fact, I can become completely absorbed in a thought with my attention. But the thought is not what I am. The thought is what I am looking at with my attention. What I really want to look at is what's looking. What am I? What is this consciousness that woke up in the morning that's here all day? This is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm feeling for when I'm doing the awareness, watching awareness meditation. Sentence 25 says the words awareness, consciousness, attention, observation, watching, looking, seeing, and concentrating all have the same meaning in the practice instructions. So whether I'm asked to watch awareness, whether I'm asked to be aware of awareness, whether I'm asked to concentrate on awareness, they really all mean turn my attention towards me, the watching. Keep my attention with the watching. One of my favorite descriptions, every day when we do one of these guided meditations, we're listening to a different description from the book, The Most Direct Means to Eternal Bliss. Just to let you know, there's another version of this book, The Direct Means to Eternal Bliss. They both have the descriptions in them. But one of my favorite descriptions is description I. It says, shut your eyes, be aware of being aware. Now that's probably the most helpful description for me. Because sometimes when it says things like, let's see, watch that consciousness. It's kind of like you feel like you're looking for an object, something, what's this thing called consciousness? Is it these sensations in my head? Is that what I'm watching? Do I sit here and pay attention to the sensations in my head? Is that consciousness? Sometimes people ask, is it the feeling in my heart? Is that consciousness? No, it's not. It's just being aware that you are aware. For example, right now, you know that you see. You're looking at me. Let me stop my share for a second so you can really look at me. You're looking at me on the video, and you're aware that you can see me. I am the object. You see me. I am the object. You know you see because you see me. But notice you can't actually see your seeing. You're aware that you see. You know that you see. But seeing is not something that you can actually point at. Well, awareness is the same way. So when you close your eyes and you're practicing awareness, watching awareness meditation, you want to be aware that you're aware. You know that you're aware. You might be aware of sounds. You might be aware of sensations. You might be aware of thought. You know that you're aware. Now stay aware that you're aware. Keep your attention with that awareness that you're aware. Concentrate on the knowledge that you're aware. And just do that for the full practice period, however long you're meditating for. And if you find yourself getting caught up in thought, notice that you're aware again and bring your attention back to that fact. So again, my favorite practice instruction, be aware of being aware. Now remain in that awareness of awareness. Remain in that awareness of awareness. Let me see if there's anything else I want to share from the practice instructions. Number 26, awareness is not thought, right? Those words that chatter in the mind, that's not awareness. Awareness is that which is aware of thought. Both when there are thoughts and when there are no thoughts, the awareness that woke up in the morning is aware. Again, that awareness is there all day. And it never changes. Both when there are thoughts and when there are no thoughts, the awareness that woke up in the morning is aware. Because the awareness that woke up in the morning is continuous during all of the waking hours until you go to sleep. Awareness is not emotions. Awareness is that which is aware of emotions. Both when there are emotions and when there are no emotions, the awareness that woke up in the morning is there because the awareness that woke up in the morning is continuous during all of the waking hours until you go to sleep again. You know, we've recently practiced noticing that different thoughts come and go, different emotions come and go, right? But this consciousness is always here. This awareness is always here. And this is what you want to focus on during the meditation. Awareness is not the object seen by the eyes. Awareness is that which is aware of the objects seen by the eyes. The awareness that woke up in the morning is there when the eyes are open, seeing objects, and when the eyes are closed, not seeing objects, because the background of awareness is continuous during all of the waking hours until you go to sleep again. Awareness is not the thought I. Awareness is that which is aware of the thought I. You know, we said earlier that awareness is you. It is what you are, but it is not the I thought. So if the mind is thinking, oh my goodness, my leg is hurting. I need to move my leg. I need to just wiggle a little bit, right? That's thought. And the I in that thought is not what you are. You're the awareness that's aware of that I thought, as well as the pain in the leg. So look for that. What's aware of this I thought? What's watching this I thought? What's giving attention to this I thought? What's giving attention to this pain in the leg? Awareness is not desire. Awareness is that which is aware of desire. Also, number 41, awareness is not some far off, lofty, or sorry, let me start over. Awareness is not something far off, lofty, or mysterious. Awareness is that which is looking through your eyes, reading this. Just your ordinary, everyday awareness, not some special awareness. Awareness is that which wakes up in the morning and remains aware until you go to sleep at night. Awareness is not any of the things or experiences perceived. And then there's an experiment, and we've tried this experiment in some of the descriptions, right? Look at an object in the room, and you can do that now. Look at an object in the room where you are. Notice that you're aware of that object. Also, you're aware of seeing that object. You're aware of seeing. Now close your eyes and notice you're still aware. In fact, now you're aware of not seeing. What is that awareness? Place your attention on that awareness. Stay with being aware that you are aware. So those are the two practices I just wanted to go over. Help you out with them in case you needed help with them. If you didn't, sorry, I wasted your time. Let me look ahead briefly at the coming week. The coming week, we're continuing to read in 1 John, which is where we're at now. We will finish 1 John this week, it looks like. Yeah, and we'll start 2 John. And in fact, NTI 2 John is just one chapter. So we'll read NTI 2 John in one day. So we'll do NTI 1 John and NTI 2 John this week. You're going to continue to practice awareness, watching awareness. And you're going to have a couple different walkabout exercises. You will on day 444 do the meditative loving all method again. But then on day 445, you're just going to pay attention to yourself as isness, awareness, peace. And hold that feeling of love throughout the day with all things if you can. So it's kind of like being that last step in the meditative loving all, and then carrying that last step with you throughout the day. Stay aware of yourself as isness, awareness, peace, and then be the presence of love as everything occurs in the day. You'll practice that on day 445. You'll also practice that on day 447, on day 448. So you'll get lots of practice with that. And then the other 2 days of the week, you're going to be feeling within for current moment guidance and doing your best to live from the right mind, that which feels like right guidance, while disregarding and letting go of egoic thoughts. So a little bit of practice with what I call surrender, living from spiritual intuition. So those are the practices that are coming up this week. Next Monday, when we meet again, it will be day 450. That's the beginning of our last 50 days, the last 10%. So we are wrapping things up. So give these practices your all. Take time to meditate every day. Give the meditation your all while you're doing it. And I will see you on day 450. Bye.